Welcome to another 3-day project, and today we're taking a look at these three rocks. So we have precious, red rock, and organic. And this time I worked mostly with displace modifiers in Blender, and yeah, that's how I was able to create this geometry. And on top of that, I worked a little bit with displacement, as you can see, for the texturing. So let's take a look at the first project. So this is our first stone. And as you can see, this is how it looks like. And it's the icosphere. So I'm going to go to the modifiers tab. I only have a subdivision, and that's because I ended up just applying the modifier on the mesh itself. I don't remember why I did that. I think it was just easier for the viewport to work properly. I'm pretty much going to show you how I did that. So I'm going to create a new icosphere. So let's mesh icosphere, and I'm going to change the subdivision. I'm going to set smooth, and I'm going to go to my modifier deform, and I want the displace. I'm going to add a new texture, and I'm going to go to my texture, and I'm going to change this image or movie type to Voronoi, and now we have some nice displacement. And I just need to play around with the intensity, the size. Something you can do as well is change the distance metric. And I think I'm going to go with distance square just to have nice smooth curves. So now we need to fix a little bit the geometry, because as you can see, we do need a lot more subdivision on our sphere. So I'm going to add a generate subdivision surface, and I'm going to add that before our displacement, and I'm going to add a little bit more, so 3. This looks nice, and I want to add another subdivision surface after the displacement just to smooth out a little bit those edges. And yeah, this looks pretty nice. And I'm going to add for this one the material that I had. So we do have some issues with the displacement. So that's something that you need to take care of. So in this case, the displacement is just too much. So I'm going to close this, and I'm going to bring back the original rock that I created. I'm going to turn that back to 0.08, and now we have those nice displacement. So you need to have in mind that be able to add proper displacement, you need to not have very sharp edges on the sphere, because we do have some issues here. But since we don't really see that side, it's not important for us. For the texturing, as you can see, there's a lot of things going on. There's a couple of mixed shaders. So we have 3 different principal BSDF. This one is the golden part. This is the subsurface. And this one is kind of the black lines that we have on the cavity here of our displacement. And this is controlled by the ambient occlusion. So as you can see, this is set inside of the factor of the mix shader. So these two are mixed together. And after that, I am mixing again the golden parts with a noise texture. And when it comes to the displacement, it's a mix of 2 different noise textures. I am subtracting the golden part with this. So as you can see now, the displacement is going to be affected on the rock, except the part that controls the golden spots. So yeah, that's pretty nice. And with the ambient occlusion, we have this nice kind of cracks around the rock, which looks really nice. So the second project, as you can see in the modifiers tab, we don't have anything because, again, I ended up applying the modifiers to that so that it's not as heavy in the viewport. But this is the sphere that I was able to create, the rock, and exactly same setup. I just changed a little bit the colors around. I changed the noise values. So I have some normals here, but this one is not plugged in. I can delete that. So yeah, we just have this one normal that works just a little bit. The displacement is 0, 0, 2. I'm going to try to add a little bit more. But since we have some hard edges here, we are going to notice a lot of issues. As you can see here, the black spots, this is caused by the displacement. So that's why it was set to a lower value than our first project. I added a plane just behind that, kind of a brown reddish color, and of course the lights all around the rock, and that's pretty much it. And for the third project, as you can see in the modifiers tab, this time I decided to keep everything here, so I didn't apply any of those modifiers. So we have a subdivision, another subdivision, because you can't really go higher than 6. So I needed a little more details, so I added a second one, and we have our displace modifier. And as you can see, I chose the Musgrave type, and I changed the noise to Voronoi F2, F1, and I played around the slider here, and this is how I was able to have this type of displacement on the rock. So yeah, this looks really, really nice. So there's a lot of geometry, I think. It's very dense. So we have our first texture, the second one, which is the orange subsurface, as you can see here. The red one, which is around the edge of our model, and we have the black one. So I played around with the displacement, and as you can see, we have this kind of a nice organic shape displacement here. And if I take down my displacement node, this is how it looks like without any displacement. We do have a texture, so the plaster again, and this time I put this in all of my principal BSDF shaders. I wanted to make it a lot more organic, but I didn't really want it to go overboard with the shading, and I wanted to keep this kind of a rock type, even though it's a little bit more organic. And that's it for this series, so the rock series. I used to make a lot of rocks like that back in Cinema 4D, and I will be doing some more of these at some point. But yeah, this was kind of my first introduction to the displacement noise and how to create this type of geometry. I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.